to Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, presented by JosephAuto.com. I am Paul Daugherty Jr. We are here live at the Moerlein Lager House. Listen to these people. They respond so well to us. We're here at the Moerlein Lager House coming off a Bengals win over the Steelers last night, which also should get applause, I would imagine, from the hometown fans. Of course, I'm here with Paul Daugherty. Paul, how you doing?
I'm good, Paul. How are you? And welcome once again to the Lager House, where we will be every Tuesday night all season long.
All season
7
long.
o'clock. Come join us.
We'll be here all night. We're going to be here bringing you everything you need to know. But, of course, we've got to talk about the football game that occurred last night.
Yep, as we do every Sunday and occasionally on a Monday night, we sit shoulder to shoulder in the press box and observe. I would ask you to start it out tonight. Is a win a win? Does it matter the quality of the win, or is a win a win?
In this particular case, a win is a win. When it's week 2, when it's the Steelers, when it's Monday Night Football, winning is all that really matters. When you lost a game you thought you should have had in Chicago, the win is all. There are 14 more weeks to worry about how you feel going into the postseason.
No style points needed after a win over the Steelers.
Not in this particular case. There's 14 weeks of style points that can be had. So in my opinion, this was all about winning. Sure. Do you want to do it and stomp out the Steelers so every Bengals fan that's standing around the water cooler
that has suffered for 20 or 30 years humiliation at the hands of the Pittsburgh
Yes, would love
Steelers.
to hold up the front page of the Inquirer in their face. Would you? Yes, they would love to do it. But at the end of the day, you just had to have this win. And I think the time for style and coming together with a group that still has a lot of new pieces with some of the young draft picks, you got time for that.
Give me 3 positives that you saw from the game and 1 negative.
I think when you start with positives, it's hard not to start with the play of the rookies. Giovanni Bernard, Tyler Eifert, they were here for this reason. They are here because when teams and defensive coordinators like Dick LeBeau, who have made a living off of taking what you do best away from you, take A.J. Green away, these guys are here to make those plays. Giovanni Bernard with 2 touchdowns, Tyler Eifert with the 61-yarder that made the difference. Those guys showed why they're here and that you cannot just focus everything on AJ. There's plenty of players that can beat you. 7 total different receivers catch balls last night. To keep going, though, what did we sit here and talk about last week? We talked about composure and keeping your cool. If there is ever an environment made for losing your composure, it's Monday Night Football against your fiercest rival. Saw none of that this week. Saw some of it from Pittsburgh at the end of the game, actually. Held their composure. It never came back to bite them. And turnovers, another thing that we talked about last week. 2 huge turnovers in this game. The strip by Pac-Man, I think, underrated for play of the game. Those really turned.
I wanted to mention that. The Pac-Man strip. Yep. When it seemed as if the Steelers had the game going a little bit their way, it was just ugly enough that you thought that the Steelers might be able to hang. Wonderful defensive play by Pac-Man, who's not known as a great cover corner, but is known as a playmaker.
Yeah, he had an underrated season covering last year, but he has shown an ability to make plays like that, chasing a guy from behind on a hustle play. He had been burnt earlier in the drive on a big play, so to come back and make up for it was huge. You talk about the one negative, though, Doc. I mean, I think the first half play of Andy Dalton, where it was much different than the guy that was there in Chicago, where he had the best completion percentage of his career. It was just it wasn't as accurate.
We'll get into a little bit of Andy Dalton. I'm focused on yards per attempt.
Okay.
I think that is a very good statistic by which quarterbacks are measured. His yards per attempt, 6.4. Good quarterbacks anywhere from 8.5 to 10. He was not terrifically efficient last night, but we're splitting hairs. A 20-10 win against a division foe is a big win. I think Lindsay has something for us, Paul.
Lindsay, what do you got going on out there?
Crowd reporter out here. I'll take your questions at the Christian Moerlein House or on Twitter. Make sure you use hashtag Beyond the Stripes. Last night it was a great atmosphere at Paul Brown Stadium. The Bengals did what they needed to do, beat a beat-up Steelers team. Some of the highlights you guys mentioned before, Giovanni Bernard with 2 touchdowns. Is going to be fun to see what they do with him on offense. Also, Tyler Eifert adding a 61-yard catch, the longest in team history in almost a decade. I know you guys will hit on that in just a little bit. Back to you, Doc.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. We also have one other special guest who is going to be with us every week. That is the Inquirer beat guy for the Bengals, Joe Reedy. Joe Reedy will join us later in the show to talk about the game from last night and also to look ahead the Green Bay Packers coming into town on Sunday.
But we want to hear from you, so we want to hear what questions you have. Send us anything you have on Twitter. If you want to send us a question, that'll be at hashtag Beyond the Stripes. And also, you can hit us up on Facebook at /Cincinnati Inquirer. We'll be taking all your questions, and I'm sure there will be some questions for our guest tonight.
And our guest tonight happens to be Marvin Jones, wide receiver. Welcome, Marvin.
Marvin Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
Marvin had 3 catches last night, a couple of them for first downs. He is one of a kind of a cavalcade of dependable wide receivers, a stable, a posse of dependable wide receivers that Andy Dalton has to throw to. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
You got it. Thanks for coming in.
It's great to have you, and I think let's talk about last night's game. You have to come away today. We opened it up today. A win is a win on Monday Night Football against the Steelers after a game that you wish you would have had the week before. Win is all that matters, right?
Definitely. I mean, we have high expectations, for this season and for this team, and we have all the pieces, to go the distance. And obviously, it was a disappointing loss in the first week, and we feel like we had that game, but we had some mistakes, some turnover and stuff like that. But to come out here against our division rival, Pittsburgh Steelers, on Monday night, and just battle for 4 quarters, that was great, and we needed that.
It is, and you're fairly new to this, the whole Pittsburgh rivalry. Do you sense a different atmosphere in the locker room the week before this game? I used to call it in the newspaper Pittsburgh Week with an exclamation point. Have you been here long enough to kind of appreciate the rivalry? Andrew Whitworth mixed it up late last night. There's no love lost between these two clubs. Was it that as much as anything else, or was it just the fact that we need a win? We cannot go into a Green Bay game 0-2. This is a division game. This is a division rival, or is it really Pittsburgh week for you?
Well, I mean, I would say it's a little both, because I mean, we want to treat every game as the same, but obviously, with all the hype of Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati and stuff like that, and the history that that we have playing each other, it is kind of a different twist and stuff like that. So I mean, we want to come out there and do it, and when you do it against the Steelers, what better game to come out with a win and prepare and work hard for that game. So it is a little different.
Now, I know you as a receiver had to be loving it in the first half last night. 32 passes in the first half from Andy. Are at some point you surprised when you keep coming into the huddle and it continues to be a pass over and over again, or was that just the game plan going in that you felt like that's where you guys could take advantage?
I mean, I think that was just the feel overall in the game. I mean, we just going in there and passing. We're effective. We're effective. In many plays in the first half, and I mean, you've seen a couple of the shots. One to Tyler and stuff like that. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's good. It was good going in there and just getting after it. It was a game that I would say it was a grinder game. Like we'd go in there, and especially me after playing all the special teams, going in there and just running down and running all the routes and stuff like that. So it definitely was a grinder game, and we had some success, little bumps, but we got better as the game went on.
Talk about the matchup issues that this core of receivers presents to a defensive coordinator. You've got Muhammad, you've obviously got AJ, now you've got Giovanni coming out of the backfield, you have 2 tight ends. If you're a defensive coordinator trying to figure out a way to match up with this offense, what do you do? What do you come up with?
To be honest, I don't know what you do.
That's the point, right?
Yeah, I mean that is the point. But at the same time, we have a lot of dynamic players, and we have a lot of players that have different attributes, different levels to the game that we all can bring, and it definitely creates a disturbance, with the defense, having being in 2 tight end sets and having Tyler out wide or something like that, and just mixing it up and going 3 wide receivers with AJ, me, and Mo and stuff, and having Gio back there. It's just it's great. It's great, and it's endless opportunity.
Well, every week here we have our josephauto.com drive of the game, and I don't think there's any denying what was probably the biggest drive in this game was the one that you played a huge part in. Started with 14:42 left in the fourth quarter. It was 14 plays, 57 yards, soaked up about 7 minutes of clock, converted a couple of third downs, and really put the 2 score up. So it put the game out of reach a bit. You had a huge play, your 16-yard reception on that. Take me through that play. It was a 3rd and 5. What did you see, and how did it all break for you on that play?
Yeah, I mean that was a critical part in the game, and you wanna when you're up like that, you wanna seal the deal. And I mean it was simple. That play, the man was it was off man. And I had just had a one-on-one route. I had a deep out, and it was a good anticipation by Andy, and I just got my separation, and just got it done.
When you start that route, do you feel when you have the guy that Andy's gonna be putting it on you because you can feel that you're gonna be that open in that spot?
Yes, but with me, with every route, I think every route I'm gonna get the ball. So I run every route like I'm gonna get the ball. So that was no different. But that possession was vital to us capitalizing and getting some points off.
Now, how often are you the first option on a pass play?
Well, I mean, there's different plays where somebody's the first read or I'm the first read, depending on coverage, or it all depends on coverage. So depending on coverage, he's gonna work the left side or the right side. So you never know. So that's why you have to run every route 100% and like you're gonna get the ball, because if the first read is to the left and something goes and he scrambles and stuff like that, now his eyes are on you. He has to depend on you to make that route good and make that catch.
Well, the Bengals get the big win thanks to Marvin Jones, and particularly that big catch in the fourth quarter. We're going to learn much more about Marvin Jones, though. Marvin Jones, he's a Cali kid, somehow found his way to Cincinnati. We're going to find out a lot about his interesting backstory when we come back, and we'll be back talking all about Marvin Jones, the Bengals win over the Steelers, and plenty more. This is the Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, presented by josephauto.com, live at the Moerlein Lager House. We'll be right back.
Everyone knows that Chevy Silverado is the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickup on the road. But did you know that Columbia Chevrolet has 40 end-of-model year Silverados left and priced at just $15,995? Chevy Silverados have the best pickup coverage in America, with a 2-year maintenance program, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, and a 5-year powertrain warranty. End-of-model year Silverados, priced at just $15,995, only at Columbia Chevrolet, in the heart of Montgomery.
Have you heard about all the fun things happening this summer? Festivals, concerts, movies, restaurants, fun places to go, exciting things to do? If you don't get the Enquirer at Cincinnati.com, you're missing out. We tell you about events in every community for every taste. And be sure to download the exclusive Things to Do app to have the best entertainment guide right at your fingertips. The Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. Subscribe today at Cincinnati.com/subscribe.
All right, welcome back to the Moerlein Lager House here with Beyond the Stripes, presented by josephauto.com. And I asked for your Twitter questions. I demanded your Twitter questions. And the Twitterati always comes through. Lindsay, do you have the results?
I do have the results. Everyone is delivering on Twitter right now. Just a little bit about the game last night. I'm a Clever Boy says if this team can click on all cylinders, they're going to be really hard to stop this season.
I'm a Clever Boy.
I'm a Clever Boy.
Is the one who...
That's the Twitter handle.
That's the Twitter name.
It's really creative. I really like that.
Okay.
MDA says relieved. I'm not going to say it's a must-win week 2, but that team delivered last night, so really happy with the win.
Using the must-win in week 2.
Must-win already. I love that. Must-win and leadership are my favorite.
So that's some of the response gauging. Do we have any? Were the questions for Marvin coming from the
We
Twitter
are
folks?
getting some from Marvin. We know you like to sing. Another secret talent besides playing football. Brad64 says, "What's that song that you have on the iPod before you take the field that gets you pumped up?"
I'm really not an iPod guy anymore. Before I take the field in college, I was that guy, but now I just like to be like everything quiet, and I really don't listen to music. I just focus. But I don't know what happened for me to change that, but I'm just not that person that has the iPod and with the headphones anymore. But yeah, I used to.
Would we like to hear Marvin sing?
Yes.
Yes?
Anybody want to hear Marvin sing?
I would like to hear Marvin sing. Go ahead.
I'll give you a little something. I don't want to live without you. I don't want to love nobody else, no. I don't want to spend another day. And baby, you cannot say I don't want to kiss any other lips. I don't want to move, not a little bit, no. Unless it's with you, my love. I don't wanna.
Woo!
Are you kidding me?
I'm leaving right now. I think we're done. We'll just, here.
We can leave. Hold on, check 1, 2. Mic check.
Drop the mic and walk off stage on that
That is
one.
it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No CDs.
Auditioning. Well, we heard a bit of it on Hard Knocks. You and Terrence Stevens maybe were auditioning. I heard the End of the Road song came out, so
Yeah.
maybe the American Idol's in your future somewhere. 'Cause that's the real deal.
Where does that talent come from?
Well, I've been singing. I started singing in the church when I was 3 years old, and my mom and my mom's whole side of the family sings. My grandparents on my dad's side sung. So it's pretty much I just grew up around it.
Have you ever sung in a contest?
In a contest, no.
Why not?
I never
Why not?
sung in the contest. I don't know. I just never did. You know, I've always. It's always been, you know, just a hobby for me.
I mean, we all watch American Idol, and we know some of those people just, I mean, compared to you, they probably shouldn't even be out there. But I think you have a second career if this one, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people in the music industry and stuff like that, and that's somewhere that I could have went, you know, early on in my life. I mean, I'm still young, but when I was younger, I could have went, but I just always played football, so that's what it is.
You know, when you're going to get drafted to the NFL, football seems like a good choice. I particularly remember talking to you on a teleconference the day you got drafted in the 5th round, and we didn't even really bring it up. We were just asking you about getting drafted, the standard questions, and you were mad. You didn't want to be, you weren't a 5th round draft pick in your mind. And I remember thinking that you just offered that without us even asking about it. What were draft days like for you? And how odd was it trying to fight those emotions as you slipped to a place you didn't feel like you belonged?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was hard, and I'm a humble guy, you know, and just to be in this league is definitely a blessing, and but that day I was going through so many emotions, you know. There was teams that I had talks with, you know, prior to the draft and stuff like that, saying, you know, I'm gonna go there, or calling me and say, you know, you're looking real good right here and stuff like that. And when you have expectation, and I just seen it drop day by day by day, and it was just crazy, you know. It was definitely the definition of a roller coaster of emotions and stuff, but. Yeah, so, you know, when I went by, there was 23, 24 receivers that got picked before me. it was just hard, you know. But you know, when I got that call, you know, I was happy. I was definitely happy. I knew I was coming to a good spot with some young talent, and I was gonna you know, be able to, you know, produce on the field early and stuff. But yeah, I was a little mad. I'm not gonna lie.
Were you also able, once you got over that shock and anger, able to kind of turn that around and use it to your advantage? Did you come to camp with something to prove, with a chip on your shoulder a little bit?
Yes, definitely. You know, my goal was just to come in and prove that, you know, I'm not a fifth round receiver and stuff like that. But I mean, that, like I said, it just comes back to being humble, and I am you know, a humble guy, and I took that and it's a little fuel, but at the same time, whether it's a second round, third round, fifth round, seventh round, undrafted, I had that same mindset, and I was just gonna come here and just do my best and prove that I belong.
I want to steer it towards your family a little bit. You have 2 little fans at home. Talk about them a little bit.
Yes, I got 2 kids at home. Marvin, my firstborn, Marvin Jones III. He's 4 years old, and little Moerlein. He's gonna be 2 on Halloween. So those are my little support systems, and it's just a joy having them, and they keep me grounded as they did, you know, when I was in college and stuff like that. And it's just good to come home to a fiance, 2 kids, and my little brother lives out here with me too.
And they love what you do, right?
Yes. I mean, they know everything, kind of everything about football already. You know, Marvin, he's been with me, you know, ever since I was you know, freshman, sophomore in college, and so he's been through the whole you know, Cal Bear phase, and now he's in his little Houday phase. And Moerlein just loves Houday, and that's all he says. And he, you know, he knows when he sees me, he sees my number and stuff, and he cheers, you know, go daddy and stuff like that. So and they both run routes. Yeah, it's you know, just seeing me every day, and doing, you could call little Marv and put ladders in there, and he'll carve up all the ladders like he's a wide receiver and stuff. So they're gonna have a good future.
Well, we always see them out after training camp, after every practice. They're out there running around with all the other kids. You know, you've told me before that, you know, you're a 23-year-old NFL wide receiver. You're supposed to be living downtown at the banks right above this place and down here every night. You live out in you're like a family suburban guy. You like to get away. I think that's interesting. Where did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just how I am. It just how I grew up is just, I've been family oriented and stuff. So it kind of just stuck with me. And I like to be somewhere where it's distance, where you know, there's a boundary, you know, between work and going home and being with my family. So there's that's what I like. You know, I get up every morning and extra early and drive, you know, 15 minutes to the stadium. I love doing that. And after practice, you know, I take a little ride home, and then now I'm switching to daddy mode. So yeah, that's just the type of guy I am.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you this, because it's a big controversy now with all the Johnny Manziel stuff, and should the college guys be paid? You graduated from Cal 3.5 years, correct? I looked this up. An in-state student at Cal, the tuition is $33,000 a year, tuition, room, board, whatever. Out of state is $56,000. That's a lot of money. The obvious question to you: what do you think about the current student-athlete model that the NCAA has held on to for years and years and years? Do you think athletes should be paid? If so, how? And just your thoughts on the whole thing with the NCAA.
Well, I think that's a delicate situation, and it's difficult to put your hand on it, because because you're a Division I athlete, and you deal with the NCAA, and you want to say, oh man, he should get this, he should get that, and but at the same time, it's like, you know, there's a standpoint of where focus has to be involved, you know, because you are getting free education, and I think athletes should be focused on getting their education, you know, and the external things. If you do on the field, if you do what you have to do, plus being handling the rigors of academia and stuff like that, then you're gonna get rewarded when you go in the NFL and such like that. But it's there's so many aspects and so many ways that you could go about it. And but I do think when schools make ton of money, make ton of money off that player and bring a lot of revenue. There's a way that if that player could get paid. It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy because I'm on the fence of both, because I was a Division I athlete. And I loved getting my education and having free education while playing big time football, so that that took up most of my time, so I wasn't really worried about anything else,
Yeah.
So but I can see both sides of organizations making tons of money off of a player, and it just adds pressure on that player. So.
Did you ever walk around campus and see a kid wearing your jersey? Your Cal jersey?
Yes, I have.
Or go into a store and there they are, and you think, well, I didn't see a dime in any of that. How is that fair? But that's just a part of the model.
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess it is a part of the model. It is a part of the model, and it's a delicate situation. And I was just happy that somebody was wearing my jersey. I wasn't really thinking about. I had other things to think about than making money off somebody.
Absolutely, plenty of fans in all time zones. We learned a little bit about Marvin Jones here. We're going to talk a little bit about Marvin Jones, X's, O's, and football, and the Packers going forward on the next break. We're going to bring a little bit more to you. We got plenty more coming. We're still here at the Moerlein Lager House. People are still drinking beer here, shockingly. I'm pretty sure that will continue as the night goes on. But we'll be right back here very soon. And Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, sponsored by josephauto.com.
25 years ago this month, Joseph Toyota opened its doors selling the best cars at unbeatable prices. And it wouldn't have been possible without you, our customers.
It's Joseph Toyota's 25th anniversary celebration going on now. Save your silver and lease the all-new 2014 Corolla LE for just $225 a month. Camry SE for only $225 a month. Or a new RAV4 LE for, well, you get the idea. Joseph Toyota is always the right choice.
Have you heard about all the fun things happening this summer? Festivals, concerts, movies, restaurants, fun places to go, exciting things to do? If you don't get the Enquirer and Cincinnati.com, you're missing out. We tell you about events in every community for every taste. And be sure to download the exclusive Things to Do app to have the best entertainment guide right at your fingertips. The Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. Subscribe today at Cincinnati.com/subscribe.
All right, welcome back to Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes. Paul Daugherty, presented by josephauto.com. Well, it's now time to start talking about what most of the people here are interested in. That's what happens on the field. And when we talk about what happens on the field, we have to bring in Joe Reedy, the master of all things X's and O's.
Hello, Joe. How much sleep did you get last night?
I think about 3 hours after watching a broadcast again, doing grades and everything.
You're doing grades? How did Marvin Jones grade out?
I think one of the three keys we had going into the game is that the people other than AJ had to pick up the slack. There's a lot of cloud coverage towards AJ. I think that was a big difference in the Week 7 game last year. I think we saw Marvin's game in Week 16 against Pittsburgh last year. That was a big thing. And you get a Giovanni Bernard, Mohamed Sanu, big bounce back game after the turnover against Chicago. Marvin with a couple timely catches. And also the tight ends. We're going to be talking about them the entire year. I think the supporting cast, it's not just on AJ alone, which I think is going to be a big difference this season.
Absolutely, but so we know what happened before. Now we have to look forward. Green Bay comes to town. It doesn't get easy for you guys, Marvin. And you're very familiar with their quarterback.
Yeah, he's a fellow Cal Bear.
He held a few records when you showed up there. How far did you miss him by?
I missed him by I think 3 years. When he came in, Deshaun came in. He was there when Deshaun's freshman year. So when Deshaun was coming in, so I think I missed him by about 4 or 5 years.
Did you ever just marvel watching some of the old tape? I'm sure they had old tape of things that he had done, and seeing even him now in Green Bay, you know exactly what he can do.
Yes, they definitely had a lot of old tapes, and it's funny because you see him. He was smaller, obviously, because he was younger, but he was the same Aaron Rodgers. You know, like the plays that he makes now is like they're pretty much the same plays he made in college, and it was exciting seeing him have success in the NFL when he had his chance, and then going back when I was still at Cal, seeing what he's done, it's pretty cool.
Marvin, I know we talk a lot about Dick LeBeau's defense and everything. Dom Capers, similar scheme. You got a short work week. How much is that familiarity with LeBeau and now going to Capers, is that going to help?
Well, it's definitely going to help. Just because we've seen, how Dick LeBeau is, in terms of his coverages and stuff like that, and different schemes and blitzes and stuff. So, anytime you could have 2 weeks in a row where you're going to see some schemes, some similar schemes. That's definitely with the short work week. It definitely It's good. It's good to do.
Do you watch a lot of NFL when you can in your off time?
Yes, I do.
Did you watch the Eagles-Redskins game last week?
I actually didn't. I didn't watch.
You
that.
missed the
playing
Chip Kelly
Daddy
offense.
Time.
Okay, well that's probably better. Did you have a chance to watch Aaron Rodgers against the Redskins on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any doubt in your mind now that the NFL is a pass-first league?
Well, I mean, I think it is. I think it is, and obviously, it goes through phases. It's a 1 year, so it's heavy running, and in this, especially this year, you're seeing in the past year, you're seeing a lot of passing, and it's just the nature of the game, in terms of innovation and just getting the better of defenses and stuff like that, and really knowing schemes and coming up with plans to beat those schemes through the air. I mean, I think you could say that.
And in that same respect, I think when people play the Packers, they assume this one's probably going to be a shootout. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you have to prepare yourself for as an offense, that you're going to have to go out there and throw up a lot of points when you're going up against an offense like Green Bay has?
Yeah, well, us with our defense, we think our defense is, they're obviously one of the top defenses in the NFL. So we think, if we get to a certain point where we know our defense is gonna hold, and they're not gonna get scored on a lot. We just think that we have to do our part and stuff like that. But as an offense, you're always prepared for a shootout. You never that with the ebbs and flows of the game, you never know what happens, and they can score a lot of points, and we have to be ready to score a lot of points too. So I mean, you have to be ready for the shootouts, and you have to be ready for the grinder games. With the
short work week and as physical as Pittsburgh is, how much of an advantage is it that you also have this week's game at home?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. Going into this transition into the next game, we have some momentum, and it was a very physical game. It was a very physical game. So to have that physicality in this game is I think it will bode better for us coming into this next game, because it was a hard fought game. So we're ready and we're prepared. We'll prepare to go through another one.
I'll throw this out to everybody. Is this the sort of game, given Aaron Rodgers, not only that, but they had a guy go out early, a running back go out early, and the guy that replaced him had over 100 yards. Is this the sort of game where a defensive coordinator really earns his money?
Well,
go by all means, go first.
I think the defensive coordinator earns his money throughout the whole year, in being consistent. But I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Well, I think we kind of saw last night, Mike Zimmer, 2 straight games against Pittsburgh, has definitely earned his keep and earned his money, where I think you kind of saw held 44 yards rushing. In the past, when you looked at the edge and rushing yards, you would think, oh, the Steelers had those rushing yards. That's what the Bengals had. And it just flipped field. The third down conversions is kind of incredible. I mean, you guys know, struggling on third downs a little bit last year. When you can get off the field with those 3 and outs, and to possess the ball as long as you has, it definitely takes the pressure off.
And I've talked to Mike Zimmer about the passing league concept that you mentioned earlier, and the first thing he always says that the defensive coordinator earns his money by stopping the run, doing exactly what the Bengals did last night, because it allows Dunlap and Geno and those guys to pin their ears back on those 3rd and longs. That's how a defensive coordinator turns the tide. The reason you're never going to stop the Packers if James Starks runs for 122 yards is just that, because you can't defend everything. You're having a hard enough time defending Aaron Rodgers by yourself. Turning them up is a matter of stopping the run and making them one-dimensional, even if that dimension is absurd.
Yeah, and I think the Bengals' best weapon will be the pass rush this week. The Redskins early in that game were able to get some heat on Aaron Rodgers. Arakpo and Kerrigan both, I think, sacked him. I'm not sure what happened after that. Being a Redskin fan myself, I stopped watching at halftime, to tell you the truth. But I know that for the first 30 minutes, the only chance they had was early when they got some heat on Aaron Rodgers.
Just also looking across the division too, Marvin, how much of the Baltimore-Cleveland game were you able to see on Sunday?
I saw a little bit of it. I saw a little bit of it. And it's and these games are tough. You know, these games are tough and hard fought. You know, you see, and especially in our division rivals, or you seen a couple of them, and they both were grinder games. And you know, you just strap your helmet, and the first half is, you know, kind of either way, and you know, the success determines the people who play lights out in the second half, and who are you know, more endurance and just execute, and that's what you're starting to see, and that's probably what you're going to see in all these division games.
Do you feel like you kind of stepped? It's early to talk about driver's seats, but you feel like you kind of stepped forward because you've played as well as really any team in the division at this point. You have the win over Pittsburgh. Do you feel like a bit in the driver's seat in the division even early on?
Well, we feel that, you know, with our potential, with the potential that we have in the players and the seats, I mean, the players that we have, that's going to determine our success, and we feel like we have the potential to, the sky's the limit, and I feel like we always feel like we're in the driver's seat, because that's just how we are, you know, as the offense, as the defense, and on special teams, and that's how we go about things.
Well, absolutely, Marvin, we appreciate you talking a little bit about the game and football and your life, and just becoming the R&B soul singer of the year here tonight.
That was incredible.
I still can't believe what we heard. Everybody, let's hear it for Marvin Jones.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you're not done. We're not getting rid of
I'm
you
still
just
here.
yet. We've got one more segment coming up. We're going to play a little word association game. You and Lindsay are going to go head-to-head. We're going to see
go, Lindsay.
who can come out top. He's a football player, so the competitive vibe is clearly in him. So we will see how he fares in that. Doc will speak a little bit about this passing league that we keep talking so much about, and we'll have plenty more for you here on Cincinnati.com Sports, Beyond the Start with Paul Daugherty, sponsored by JosephAuto.com. We will be right back.
Everyone knows that Chevy Silverado is the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickup on the road. But did you know that Columbia Chevrolet has 40 end-of-model year Silverados left and priced at just $15,995? Chevy Silverados have the best pickup coverage in America, with a 2-year maintenance program, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, and a 5-year powertrain warranty. End-of-model year Silverados, priced at just $15,995, only at Columbia Chevrolet, in the heart of Montgomery.
Have you heard about all the fun things happening this summer? Festivals, concerts, movies, restaurants, fun places to go, exciting things to do? If you don't get the Enquirer and Cincinnati.com, you're missing out. We tell you about events in every community for every taste. And be sure to download the exclusive Things to Do app to have the best entertainment guide right at your fingertips. The Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. Subscribe today at Cincinnati.com/subscribe.
Welcome back. You know, it's becoming obvious in the NFL that offense is in control and that pass offense is running the show. Passing games are way ahead of a defense's ability to stop them. Maybe that's why Andy Dalton threw 32 times in the first half on Monday night. The good news is the Bengals have the sort of depth and versatility to take advantage of Jay Gruden's fertile brain, with 2 tight ends who can catch and run, a quick running back out of the backfield, and, of course, the wonderful A.J. Green. The Bengals are in prime position to take advantage of this new passing era that we're in. And passing, make no mistake, is how you win in the National Football League. You throw and you throw some more. Anyone who utters the words, establish the run these days, needs to be sent back to the museum. In 2013, the pass is where it's at.
So that means I got to go back to the museum?
That means you got to go back to the museum.
Does the run game matter?
I think in AFC North it does for those 6 games, but I think the other 10 games, it's definitely the passing league. And I think as we saw we've seen the past 2 years, you can't win on one receiver alone. And that's the biggest difference with this team this year. Marvin, Mohamed Sanu, another year older, another year of experience. You had the 2 tight ends now. Giovanni Bernard out of the backfield.
Electric.
That touchdown last night was the first plus 20 reception by Bengals running back since we saw Brian Leonard in Week 11 of 2011 at Baltimore. What he's going to add to this offense, Marvin's been looking for that for 11 years, and I think that's going to help.
No doubt about it. This team is set up to be multiple, like you speak of, because of so many weapons, Marvin Jones amongst them. But the question is he a weapon in word association games? Lindsay, what's going on? Are you going to win, or is this going to be your demise?
Might be good at singing, but I'm ready to dominate in word association. We're going to go first. We're going to show them how you do it. You ready for this? I have Jared right here, an assistant behind me. She's going to give you the clues. You're going to try to explain to me, okay? You have 1 minute. We have to win. Ready?
Hitting the quarterback.
Sack.
Too hard.
Penalty.
Yes, it is a penalty.
Roughing the passer.
Start of the game, they flip something.
A coin. Coin toss.
After you score a touchdown.
6 points. Oh, the extra point.
Russell Wilson to Golden Tate at the end of the Green Bay game. At the end of the game, quarterback throws it long ways for a touchdown.
It was a touchdown catch.
What was that? What was it? It was a touchdown, but it was a long ways.
More clues.
When the quarterback throws it all the way down the field, 80 yards, 60 yards, touchdown.
Man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Pass.
Seahawks beat them with the Golden Tate catch. See.
I drew a blank. I'm thinking Bengals. Hail Mary. Yeah. We had a Hail Mary the other night, so. All right.
Marvin, if you don't beat that,
man, there was
you
a
will
lot
hear it tomorrow.
a lot of pauses between there. Remember, you can say pass. I kind of waited too long. I'm going to bring you right in here, Craig, Marvin. Your turn. Good luck. You guys are going to need it. I think I only had 2. So, 3. So you have to beat 3. Think you can do it? All right, you have a minute.
Let's do it. Okay. To start the game off.
Kickoff.
Defense catches the ball.
Interception.
Beyond regulation.
Beyond overtime.
The guy with the white hat.
Referee.
The party before the game.
Pre-game.
The party.
Tailgate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my neighbor, by the way. It's my neighbor.
Oh, I'm finding out that they know each other a little bit, so
He brought
they're
in a
probably
ringer.
cheating before that. Yeah, that was pretty good, Marvin. He can
Marvin.
sing, he can catch footballs, and he can win in word
So,
association.
Cornhole last week, word association this
Yeah.
week.
Another
Chinese
L.
checkers next week.
Yeah, I have to dominate that.
I
0-2. I'm 0-2, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So
I cannot believe you brought in a ringer, Marvin. You brought somebody with you to do this. You were probably practicing at your house.
I mean, we can do it again if you want. That was kind of fun. I'll do that again.
he's ready, of course, because he won.
We have no more words to offer, unfortunately. We're all out. Well, you know, it's been a fun evening. This is our second show, and somehow we are still allowed to keep coming back. We're still around. I don't know. We're happy that all of you came out to join us here at the Moerlein Lager House. Are we still drinking beer here?
I think so.
I am ready to join them.
As am I.
Let's get Oktoberfest started early, huh?
Yeah.
I like it.
Absolutely. So, hey, we want to thank all of you for coming out to the show here tonight. Of course, every single Tuesday, we will be here at 7 o'clock at the Moerlein Lager House with a different guest. Of course, we have Marvin Jones here this week. So we're excited about continuing to look for everything on the blog. Cincinnati.com will be there. The tablet, you can watch the show on that. We have every single media device imaginable with this show and all of our information. And oh yeah, read the newspaper, please. So thank you for joining us here. Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, sponsored by JosephAuto.com. We'll see you next week.
All right. Marvin Jones is going to be over here for about 10 to 20 minutes. If you would like to get an autograph, go right over here to my right, the right of the stage.